Welcome back. I had finished putting these bands together on this shaker box, and today I'm going to go ahead and cut the top part, the top insert and the bottom insert. And I have two that I'm going to use. I have this bottom insert here that'll go in. This is just a piece of pine, but on the top I have two others that I'm going to use. This came from the maple tree that I used to cut these bands with. And I've got this top here. This is spalted. I've got two pieces of it that are really nice. And I'll just have to decide which one to put on the top. But they both look good, and they'll be a finished sanding after I get this assembled. But we'll go through and I'll show you a little bit about that. I had these spreaders in here that I put on the other night to keep this box, to form this box into its oval shape so that it would fit comfortably with everything else. But I'll go ahead and take this out now and show it to you. And it stays in its nice shape. I can take this top band off. And I cut this bottom portion here to fit. And we can set this one in here. But you know, it's just not quite right. I cut this before I ever considered pegging this. So what we're going to have to do is cut another piece. And the way that we'll cut this other piece is we'll go ahead and turn our box. We'll make sure the fingers are facing to our right. It doesn't really matter. They could face to the left if you wanted to, but we'll do ours to the right. And we'll draw this bottom piece. I want to make sure that the grain is going up in this manner. When the grain is like that, then it'll function as it should. It'll go on as it should and give it more strength. So let's go ahead and draw this out. This will be the bottom. And the reason that we draw it out, I could have cut this out. In fact, that's what I did. I cut this one out before I was ready, so I used this on another smaller box. And the reason we cut it after we draw it out, if you'll look, you can see that this bottom that I'm putting in here has a gap on each side, so it doesn't fit snug. So we're going to make this fit snug. Take it over to the bandsaw and we'll cut it out. Okay, when I cut this out, I want to cut it at about a 5-degree angle so that it'll wedge into the band itself. Okay, if you look carefully now, you can see that top is beveled inward about 5 degrees, and we're going to fit it to the box now. As I said, remember that the fingers go to the right so that it will be, you could do it to the left, I guess, but I have this one set up to where I go to the right and the bottom is here. So let's see if we can slip this bottom in. It's a real tight fit. And what we have to do, if it's that tight, it's where it comes into custom fitting. We're going to take it over to the to the belt sander and see if we can make this fit. Hold on. To where it's a 5-degree angle on there, and this is how we will come in and start doing this. I want to start on the end because I seen where it was a little bit long, so let's get started. Okay, I've sanded the bottom now, and I'll fit it in, and the way I fit this in is to go from the top. I'll go from the top, and remember that the bevel will come to the inside of the box, not the outside. So what I'll do is I'll press it in here, and I'll tap it down a little at a time. That didn't work. Okay, I'll show you how I press fit this into the bottom, and it'll fit really snug around the whole end. You can set one end in to begin with, and then start pushing down, making sure that the band is flush on the table, and it will slide in there really good. You can get it squared up all the way around. Adjust it where you need to. And as you can see, the bottom is in firm all the way around the edge. It's a nice fit. All right, we'll work on the top band now. Okay, what I'll do is I'll draw the inside of this band. You don't want to compress this band. Remember, you've already got it set to fit the top up there. So you want to do as little work as possible on refitting this. So we'll draw this around. And there's our shape. We'll go ahead and take it to the bandsaw and cut it out. Thought I'd spare you the agony of watching me cut this out on the bandsaw, but I'm going to do a little bit of sanding on this by hand to give it a little bit better form. Some smoothness on the edge and the nose. Clean up all the little fur babies that are on this thing. Sand the inside. This part will be the inside of the box, and it won't show as much, so you don't have to be quite as meticulous about that unless you are a perfectionist, and that's what you would like to do. That's great. spend more time on it. You got to remember, take pride in what you do, because it shows. Sand a little on the outside, get these saw marks off. We're going to come back a little bit later and sand it out on a belt sander, and that'll take the rest of these saw blade marks. If you remember, I cut this top with my bandsaw mill, my Woodland Mills HM126. You can go back and look at one of the other videos on the playlist and see that. But I wanted to show you this top. Just look at that figure in that. The bottom of it, the top of it. It's a gorgeous piece of wood. Remember, the band always goes to the right. Now, in this instance, you're not going to make it down on the bottom of this. You're going to make it on the top. So remember, your bevel will come down this time from the top. Let's go ahead and press it in. Make sure that that bevel is set where you need it. This one is going to be a little bit more difficult, so we might have to do some more sanding. To get it to fit properly. And we have it in. It's a snug fit all the way around, and it's looking really good. Just to check to see the fit on the box, it's probably going to be real snug, and that's the way you really want one, is to be snug. And look at that. It is nice, and it is snug. Okay. There you have a shaker box almost complete. We'll come back on the next video and I'll show you how I peg the top with toothpicks. These toothpicks will go in the sides to hold the bands and the tops, the lids, the bottom and the top together. And if you'll notice on these that there is no glue or anything to hold them in this compression fit.